If you deal with dry skin, then this video is for you because I'm going to suggest products that are great for your morning skincare routine. Now, this is really personal to me because I also deal with dry skin. I have dealt with dry skin for a long time. Even when I was like in my 20s and 30s, I was already dealing with dry skin. I probably called it combination skin back then, but really I was dealing with dry skin. But also if you deal with maturing skin, then you probably also have dry skin. This isn't a given, but as we get older, your skin just starts to slow down in every aspect. We tend to hear people say that you produce less collagen, but it goes just across the board, even with the lipids that you're producing for your skin. Another way to think about dry skin is that you're on your way to having sensitive skin. You might not have fully sensitive skin, but it does mean your skin barrier is starting to break down a little bit. It's not as strong as it could be. Your skin does a really good job of forming a lipid layer that basically keeps everything bad out and keeps everything good in, or at least that's what it's supposed to do. But when you deal with dry skin, it means that your skin barrier is probably not performing at its best. And before you get upset that you're dealing with dry skin, there are some advantages because we can probably have the most extravagant of all the skincare routines because our skin can absorb a lot more. All right, so this might sound surprising to some people. If you're not new here, then you've probably heard this before from me. If it's your morning skincare routine and you have dry skin, then you don't necessarily have to wash your face. And what I mean by that is you don't have to necessarily use a cleanser because remember, we're trying to keep your skin barrier intact. We're trying to make sure that you have really moisturized skin. So while a person with oily skin might want to get rid of that excess oil that they're producing while they sleep, a person with dry skin might want to actually keep it because we need it. What I personally tend to do in the morning is just splash some water on my face, or I take a shower and I obviously rinse my face. And then once I pat my skin dry, I go in with my skincare routine. And that tends to work for me. And I find that my skin is much happier when I'm just not using a cleanser on a regular basis in the morning time. That's very specific because at night, if this was a nighttime routine, it'd be a different conversation. That said, there are times where I find that I want to cleanse my face in the morning. Maybe I had a really elaborate nighttime skincare routine and I had some really thick moisturizing levels or something and I want to get that off in the morning. Or if you're just a person that's a creature of habit and you really need to use a cleanser to get your day started, then in that case, you want to look for hydrating and nourishing cleansers. You don't want cleansers that are made to strip your skin. You definitely don't want to use cleansers that are very harsh on the skin. I'm gonna go ahead and suggest 4 different cleansers that I think are great for all dry skin types. I think they're great for most skin types actually, but specifically if you have dry skin. My first suggestion is from Dr. Sam Ellis's line, Prequel. It's called Glenzer, meaning that it's a cleanser with lots of glycerin in it. I think it's a super cute name. This is a really great cleanser for most skin types, like I said, but what makes it especially great for people with dry skin is that it has this 50% glycerin in it. When you use high percentages of glycerin, not only is it really hydrating for your skin, but it's been shown to actually help improve your skin barrier. And even after you rinse it off, you still get that kind of benefit from it. So when you're using a cleanser like this, not only is it kind of fun and like just kind of an interesting texture to use, but it's actually nourishing your skin even after you rinse it off. So it's a really good one. And it also cleanses your skin really well. Next up is the Ordinary Squalane All-in-One Cleanser. In my opinion, this is more of a first cleanse product, meaning that it's an oil-based product that I would probably use in my nighttime skincare routine as the first cleanse because it's oil-based. I would apply it to dry skin and try to break down all of my makeup, but that's what makes it a really special cleanser. It has more of like this lotion feel to it, and before it can become an oil, you actually have to work it pretty well to get it to this oily consistency. You have to warm it up in your hands, and then when you use it on your skin, you find that it breaks down makeup and impurities pretty well. That said, I think this is a really great cleanser for a morning skincare routine because of this really interesting property that it has. It has a high percentage of squalane in it. Squalane is one of those oils that all skin types can benefit from. It doesn't feel heavy and greasy on the skin. Instead, it just nourishes, and it's actually an ingredient that your skin tends to recognize and uses easier. So it really just helps to nourish and replenish your skin. So instead of feeling like your skin is stripped after you cleanse it using this, your skin feels like it's much more nourished. Next up is from La Roche-Posay. It's their Toleriane Hydrating Gentle Skin Cleanser. I love the entire Toleriane line from La Roche-Posay. If you have sensitive skin, if you have dry skin, all of the products in that collection are really great. They're very basic, but they really do their job well and they help to nourish your skin. This one's really nice because it has niacinamide in it. We know niacinamide is an ingredient that helps to balance oil production, but that's in the higher percentages. It's also a really great ingredient to help soothe and nourish just kind of balance your skin barrier. So it has niacinamide in it, and it also has a ceramide complex in it along with glycerin. So all these really nice nourishing ingredients help to replenish your skin and not strip your skin. I'll throw out there, when this cleanser first launched and people were starting to talk about it, I remember getting feedback from people saying that it just felt a little weird to them because they weren't used to having this really rich, kind of nourishing, almost lotion-like texture for their cleanser. But I promise, once you start using it, especially if you really do have dry skin, you'll feel like your skin is better. And I want you to remember that your cleanse sets the tone for your entire skincare routine. So as long as your skin is feeling nourished, you're gonna have a really successful skincare routine. So you want something like this. It feels really good on your skin. And then last for a morning cleanse, I obviously from my own brand recommend our Multi-Calm Cream Cleanser. I do wanna throw out there, a few people have been asking me if this is discontinued. It's not. We're just updating the packaging. You're actually gonna get more in the package when it finally does relaunch. It'll be back soon, but this one is really great because of the consistency. It kind of feels like you're using like a really creamy lotion on your face as a cleanser, but it really does cleanse your skin. That's the best part about it. This is really nourishing for your skin, but it's also very soothing for your skin, which is sometimes the kind of properties that you might want to look for if you're dealing with dry skin. Because remember, your skin barrier might be experiencing some issues. So if you want your skin barrier to feel healthy and supported, then you want ingredients that can help with that. So this has marshmallow root extract, there's arnica. We also have squalane in it. So it's just a really beautiful, creamy, gentle, nourishing cleanser. I highly recommend it. Next up, if you have dry skin, I really think you can benefit from an essence or a toner, mostly a hydrating essence or toner. Now, don't get me wrong. I think that most skin types, even oily skin, because oily skin tends to be dehydrated, I think most skin types can actually benefit from a hydrating essence or toner. But if you have dry skin, you especially can benefit from one, especially the ones that I'm going to suggest, because there are some that are made to almost be like really light lotions for your skin. And that's really what I'm suggesting. So first up is one of my holy grails. I've been using this for years and recommending it for years. It's the Dr. Suracle Vegan Kombucha Tea Essence. It's a long name. Obviously, this has really nice antioxidants in it. It has that kombucha tea extract. It also has green tea in it. But because it has this fermentation, it also has probiotics for your skin. And while I'm still not completely convinced that probiotics in your topical products can actually, I guess, balance out your microbiome, we do know that probiotics are really great to help with dry skin. If you have dry skin, it can help to really nourish and hydrate. And that's especially what I like about this product. It's also just a fun product to use. It's a biphase essence, meaning that you'll see two different layers in the bottle and you shake it up and then you pour it onto your hands and you pat it onto your skin and it just makes your skin feel so juicy and hydrated. It's a wonderful product. I love it so much and I talk about it all the time. That said, I also still really appreciate the Laneige Cream Skin Toner. I feel like this is the toner that set the tone for all these creamy, milky toners that have hit the market. Korean skincare brands have so many different milky toners lately, and honestly, all of the ones I've tried have been pretty damn good, so you really can't go wrong with them. This one though, really just, this is the trendsetter. This is the one that everybody fell in love with, and I really do like this one a lot. It has a combination of ceramides in it and peptides that are very nourishing for your skin and hydrating, so you just really can't go wrong using this. It feels a little bit more liquidy than the one that I just mentioned, a little bit more watery, but you use it the same exact way. You pour it into your hands, pat it onto your skin, and then you just enjoy your juicy, hydrated skin. And like I said, any of these milky toners, you're probably going to enjoy it if you have dry skin. Another one that I like is from Fenty. It's their Fat Water Hydrating Milky Toner. It's a spinoff of their original Fat Water. It just has a little bit more in it. It has obviously hydrating ingredients like hyaluronic acid in it. It also has mineral PCAs in it. There's panthenol to help strengthen and support your skin barrier, and it feels really nice and juicy. And by the way, while I'm saying that you can use your essence/toner right now in your skincare routine after you've cleansed, you can probably, this is where it comes back to having dry skin and having an extravagant routine, you can probably put more than one layer of your essence on and just keep enjoying that hydration that you get. It's such a light texture that you can just layer it on. And by the way, this is actually something that is done in Korean skincare. It's called the 7 skin method, where they layer on their essence like 7 times in a row. On TikTok, they gave it a name as well, like a trendy name, and I think they called it skin flooding, but same exact concept. If you're dealing with dry skin, it just means that you can really have a lot of fun with something that's light like this, light and hydrating like an essence or a toner, and just really layer it on. Another suggestion I have for you is is as you're going through your serum steps, you can put a layer of your essence between each of those steps up until you put your moisturizer on. Then once you're done with your moisturizer, it's thicker than your essence, so then be done with it. Next up, your serum step. And if it's a morning skincare routine, you know I'm always going to recommend a vitamin C serum. My favorite vitamin C serum to recommend for people with dry skin is from my own brand, Naturium. It is our vitamin C complex serum. The reason why I think this is great for people with dry skin is one, it's very gentle, and that's because we use a vitamin C that is conjugated with glutathione, which is another antioxidant, and also with gold, and it just helps create this stabilization of it. It's kind of like a form of encapsulation. It keeps the vitamin C stable, which we know vitamin C is notoriously unstable, so you don't have to worry about that. But it also means it helps to penetrate your skin a little bit better. It gets it to the place where you want it to go. And on top of that, because it's in this type of encapsulation method, you don't have to worry about having a really low pH, which is usually what you have to do with a vitamin C serum to get it to work properly. We actually don't have to make this at a low pH, so it's not acidic. So if you have dry skin, it's very unlikely that you'll experience any kind of irritation with this vitamin C. So if you're one of those people that's like, I've used vitamin C before, it always irritates my skin doesn't react well, I always say to try this one out. It could still not be the one for you, but I always suggest trying this one out. It's a really good price, but also it's just very hydrating because of the way that we formulate this. It has a lot of glycerin in it, there's hyaluronic acid in it, so you'll notice that your skin just looks and feels plumper and more hydrated. If you're looking for a more traditional vitamin C serum, then again, from Prequel, Dr. Sam Ellis's brand, and I keep saying her name because she's a really good friend of mine. You've probably seen her on this channel as well. Prequel is her brand, and she has her Lucent C vitamin C serum. It is a great vitamin C serum. In my opinion, it's very comparable to the SkinCeuticals CE Ferulic, but I also think this one's a little bit better. One, because it's just a much better price. I think it's like $20, $25. It has 15% ascorbic acid in it. It also has ferulic acid. So you get a little bit of that like hot dog water smell, but it's nowhere near as intense as the SkinCeuticals one. It's very faint and it dissipates pretty quickly. But then instead of vitamin E, there's a different antioxidant that helps to not only keep the ascorbic acid more stable, but it also helps your skin by providing more antioxidant benefits to it. There's niacinamide in here. There's so many other really nice ingredients in this serum. And I just think it's great if you're looking for a traditional vitamin C serum. That said, it is at that lower pH level that I was talking about earlier. So if you've experienced other classic traditional vitamin C serums and they irritated your skin, there's a chance that this one will, but it's such a good price. It's so affordable that it's always worth trying out. All right, so technically you could be done with your serum step, but remember I said when you have dry skin, you can technically use more steps, more products in your skincare routine. You can have a little bit more fun, I guess, when it comes to your skincare routine because your skin tends to want more nourishment. So while it's not necessary to go in with another serum, if you want to, and because I also like to, may I suggest serums that are a little bit more nourishing and hydrating and contain ingredients like peptides that can benefit your skin in so many different ways when it comes to the tone and the texture of your skin. Even with the signs of aging, there are some really great serums out there. So just some honorable mentions that I think you could add into this step of your skincare routine. The first one is from my brand Naturium. It's our multi-peptide advanced serum. We have some really great peptides in them, including encapsulated copper peptides that yes, can be used with your vitamin C. We have arginine amplified in there. It helps to just make your skin look more lifted and it helps it look smoother and brighter and just really nice and plump and juicy. Another serum I love to add in the morning is the Caudalie Resveratrol Lift. They promote it as a retinol alternative. I would not call it that. I just think it's this nice, milky, creamy serum texture that really helps the look and tone of your skin. I find some really great results with it, so I love that serum as well. You've heard me talk about Dew Deliverance Serum. That one is one of my favorite serums right now. It's like inching closer and closer to Holy Grail because I always go back to it and I find that I love it every single time. It has some peptides in it, niacinamide. It even has CBD in it, and I just find that it's so nice on my skin. Whenever I'm dealing with even like redness, it helps to soothe it. But again, do not feel the pressure to add another step into your skincare routine. I'm just throwing those ones out there as some personal favorites. All right, now it comes to your moisturizer, and I think this is where it gets a little bit confusing in a morning skincare routine because we also know that I'm going to suggest suggest you use your sunscreen. In fact, if there were only one product to choose from this entire routine, I would tell you to go for the sunscreen. But a lot of sunscreens can also act as moisturizers. And I think that's where it gets a little bit confusing because technically, yes, you can just skip a moisturizing step and just move on to a really rich moisturizing sunscreen. But if you have dry skin, if you truly have dry skin like me, then you can benefit from a mid-weight moisturizer and then layering on a sunscreen on top. So I'm going to suggest a couple of mid-weight moisturizers, but again, depending on what sunscreen you're using, you could always technically skip the moisturizer and just go for moisturizing sunscreen. First off, I think the Ordinary Natural Moisturizing Factors plus AHA Moisturizer is a really nice mid-weight moisturizer. It has super nourishing ingredients in there. It has a ton of different amino acids that help to strengthen and support your skin barrier. And of course, it just feels nice and creamy, but not too heavy. And it doesn't leave your skin looking like it's super greasy. So I find that it's just a really nice moisturizer for most skin types, but especially for someone with dry skin who is then going to use a thick sunscreen. From my brand Naturium, the multi-peptide moisturizer is a really great moisturizer for all skin types. I tend to suggest it to people who have more normal skin, or in this case, dry skin, and they're gonna go in with a sunscreen. I think it's especially great for people who like to wear makeup because it just sets your skin really well. It's a nice base for underneath your makeup and also underneath your sunscreen. And then if you need something that's a little bit richer but can still be nice underneath your makeup and underneath your sunscreen, the First Aid Beauty Ultra Repair Moisturizer, that one is also a really nice one. Again, it's gonna be a little bit thicker because it has ingredients like shea butter in it, but it's super nourishing for your skin. And if you do have super dry skin, you might want something that's a little bit thicker. Now, when it comes to sunscreens, again, your sunscreen can technically be your moisturizer, and that's because the ingredients that are used to make sunscreen are the same ingredients that are used to make a moisturizer, and then they add in your sunscreen filters. So that's how you get all these different textures. But for me, I like a rich moisturizing sunscreen. I think it feels really nice on the skin, and also I just really love the glow I get from specific sunscreens. If you're looking for a sunscreen that has mineral filters, I think that Elta MD UV Restore SPF 40 is fantastic for dry skin. It comes in both a tinted and untinted version. I personally like the tinted version of it just because I think mineral sunscreens don't leave the best cast on my skin. I don't necessarily get white cast, but I sometimes get like a fluorescent look to my skin. So I like the tinted version, but I know plenty of people who like the untinted version. It has nourishing ingredients like squalane in it. It also has a vitamin C derivative in it called THD, which happens to be one of my favorites. And it has ginger root extract in it to help even out your skin tone and brighten it. The other thing that I really like about this as a mineral sunscreen is that I enjoy the texture of this one. I don't feel like it gets pasty, and I definitely don't feel like it dries out my skin. Next up, the Supergoop Super Screen SPF 40 sunscreen. Back when this launched, this was like one of the holy grails amongst my team because we loved it so much. We all prefer an SPF 50. I'll throw that out there. This is an SPF 40, so it'll do. It's not our favorite. We want SPF 50 because we're picky, but SPF 40 is pretty good. This has ceramides in it, has amino acids in it, so it's just really nourishing for your skin. I think this is one that truly feels like it is a moisturizer where you feel that replenishment for your skin while you're also getting that protection. And it's all chemical filters, so you do not get a white cast either. Next up is one of my personal favorites. It's the Purito Daily Soft Touch SPF 50. It's also a PA with 4 pluses, meaning that it tells you how much broad spectrum support you're basically getting. I like this one on days where I don't want to feel too greasy. I do live in Miami, so sometimes it's so humid that I do skip the moisturizer step. And this one is a perfect one for me because even though it feels like a nice rich lotion, because it has ingredients like ceramides in it to restore and replenish your skin and support your skin barrier, it does dry down to a more natural finish on your skin. So I don't feel like I look really greasy or that I've layered on too much when I use this one. And then last from my brand Naturium, it's our Dew Glow Moisturizer SPF 50. I love this stuff. It is one of my favorites, especially if I'm going to be wearing makeup. This is a moisturizer step. We have really nourishing ingredients in there. There's also niacinamide. We have a vitamin C derivative in it. And then we also have an ingredient called sodium borosilicate that serves 2 different purposes in it. One, it helps to further protect your skin from any of that UV exposure, but 2, it has this added benefit of reflecting light. So it makes your skin look like it's more dewy and glowy without feeling greasy. It just kind of makes your skin look like it's filtered. It's one of my favorite reasons to use this one. I also find, like the Purito, it doesn't feel too heavy. It doesn't leave you with that greasy feeling if you did wear a moisturizer. So it's also just a really nice sunscreen to wear, especially if you're gonna be wearing makeup. So those are some product suggestions for a pretty basic morning skincare routine for somebody with dry skin. You can always strip any of this back. You can splash some water on your face, put on a vitamin C serum, and then put on a sunscreen, and you could probably be good. But if you want to do the most, some of the products I was suggesting and the steps I was suggesting, you will love it. You'll see that your skin will feel juicy, you'll feel hydrated and nourished. You'll get it back to a place where it just feels comfortable. You wanna be at that like normal skin. That's where we all really wanna be. We don't wanna have oily skin. We don't wanna have combination skin. We don't wanna have dry skin or sensitive skin. We just want it to be happy and normal. And I feel like once you add in these kinds of steps, you'll find yourself there. Let me know if this is how you do your morning skincare routine, if you have dry skin, or other products that you suggest for some of these steps. Let me know if you have any questions as well in the comments below. You can also find me on social media. I'm at Susan Yara, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.